everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to discuss the traffic, the driving, the congestion, and the way the law works here and how dangerous it can be to drive here. And also, the difference between a traffic enforcer and real traffic police. So, listen in and I will reveal all. Firstly, for those of you that come to the Philippines, your country's driving license is valid here for 3 months. After that period of time, you will have to get yourself a Filipino driving license if you want to carry on driving here legally. Generally, in most cases, this is fairly easy. You take your current driving license to the LTO, which is the Land Transportation Office, and fill in a couple of forms. Have an eye test, a drug test, and photo, and that will give you your shiny new license. And after that expires, you can then exchange it for a 10-year license, as long as you have retained a clean license during your first license period. Now, we will move on to the difference between traffic enforcer and a traffic police. There is a big difference. So firstly, we will discuss the traffic enforcer. The traffic enforcer normally starts at 7 a.m. and finishes promptly at 6 p.m. His main duties are directing traffic and stopping drivers for minor offenses. For example, taking a wrong turn or going the wrong way up a one-way street or running a red light or not wearing a helmet. He will also attend a minor traffic accidents. It is the law that you have to wear helmet on a motorbike, but in general, as soon as the traffic enforcers finish work at 6 p.m., everybody removes their helmet to drive as there is no one around to catch them. If the accident is a minor accident, they generally say knock for knock, regardless of whose fault it is. Or of course, they will believe that Pinoy and tell the foreigner it's his fault, as it would not have happened had he not been in the country. That's the excuse they sometimes give. So regardless, you will be the one paying for the damage. And also the fine, which can range from 1,000 pesos to 5,000 pesos. However, in most cases, a little show of a backhand and the problems normally goes away. Now, onto the traffic police, here's lies a different story. They're the ones that normally put up roadblocks and they will stop any vehicle. Check your license, check your insurance, check if you have a smoke test, and they are more thorough. But generally, they are very friendly and are very understanding. They also have the power to impound your vehicle if there are any question marks. But if you do strongly believe it's not your fault, then politely talk to the police and insist for an inquiry. I'm not going to lie to you. The traffic in the main cities here are absolutely horrendous, bumper to bumper, with cars overtaking on a blind bends, motorcycles passing left on your right hand side. It's like a Wild West show, and it's very stressful. You may be the best driver in the world, but I can assure you many Filipinos don't even have license, and if they do, it's been organized by fixers where they pay for the driving license instead of earning it by having lessons. And this is the main reason why every time I go out, I pass at least one traffic accident every day. And that's not exaggeration. Most people here generally drive motorbikes because that is the cheapest form of transport. But the problem is, as we all know, is that a motorcycle or a scooter is meant for one driver and one passenger. However, here they normally have one driver, four or five passengers, including a couple of small babies without helmets. It's also not uncommon to see a motorbike with a goat or a pig or a dog alive straddled across them. Or you will see a guy on a motorbike with planks of wood, 12 foot long, or 2 or 3 bags of cement or large gas bottle. It's very common here due to the poverty. So, regardless of how good a driver you are, it's the other driver you have to watch out for, and you really do have to have an eyes in front of you and at your back side. I will give you 3 examples, 2 true examples of what I have seen and know of here. A friend of mine came here to visit the Philippines and hired a motorbike, or should I say scooter. Most of them are automatic and about 150cc. Great fun if you forget about the fact that others around you can't drive. And he was a good driver. But after a week here driving, he ended up having a really bad accident. He chipped his elbow and broke his leg and ended up in a private hospital for a week. And before departing the hospital with a clear bill of health, he had to fork out 350,000 pesos. Ouch, an expensive lesson. And on top of that, he had to pay for the motorbike that he hired and damaged. The second example was a neighbor of mine who was age of 22, and the only thing he'd ever driven was a push bike. Landed himself a job as a truck driver, delivering quarry stone from the mountains to the city. No license, of course, and no experience. He managed to go to the first day without incident, which I could not believe. But on the second day, he lost control and plowed into 2 people waited for transport on the side of the road, resulting him killing one. The third example, which quite often happens here, and happened to a friend of mine's husband. He was age 70 and had lived here for 9 years with his Filipina wife. One fateful evening, they were driving home around 11:30 p.m. at night on his motorcycle, and there were not many street lights about. Sadly, they hit a 70-year-old lady in the middle of the road. She was rushed to hospital but died sadly a few hours later. Here, this is classed as vehicular accident, unintentional. If a driver accidentally hits and kills another motorist or pedestrian due to a car crash, it is legally classed as a reckless imprudence resulting in homicide under Article 365 of the RPC 1 and 2. But here in the Philippines, as families are generally poverty-stricken, they will quite often settle for a cash settlement, and the case goes no further. And this is what happened in this case between himself and the family. They agreed a sum of 300,000 pesos, which he gave, case closed. But the experience caused him to become a bag of nerves, so he decided to stop driving. In my opinion, if at all possible, either use public transport or buy a car. You're much safer on 4 wheels. In addition to this, most of the roads in the Philippines are badly lit, full of potholes and stray dogs, goats, and cows wandering about aimlessly. Also, many motorcycle drivers don't use their lights at night because they believe it will drain the battery. So they switch the lights off, not knowing there is an alternator attached to the battery which keeps the light fully charged. Crazy, I know, but it's the truth sadly. Of course, I know many foreigners and people that have driven here for years without an accident. But more often than not, they are generally involved in an accident in the first few months that they are here. So, just some food for thoughts for you before you hop on the bike or get behind the wheels of a car. I hope this video helps many of you. And all I can say is drive safely and keep your eyes extra wide open for the other road users will not be as experienced as you. As I said, I see a traffic accident every day. I go out without exaggeration, and when you're here, you will see same thing. I promise you. Anyway, wherever you are, have a great evening. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye for now. Jing, the Candid Filipina.